Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a 2022 Porsche 718 Cayman GTS 4.0. That's right, the 4-liter naturally aspirated flat six. That's the one you want. And my God, what a gorgeous car. Big thanks to Fenton's son from the Zygreen YouTube channel for making this happen. Big thanks to the owner as well. And go show Fenton some love if you haven't already. Now I'm buying a mid-engine sports car, and it's between this or the Lotus Emira, which I've already reviewed on this channel, and go check that out if you haven't already. But let's see how she drives. Oh, yes, boys. Now, as you can see, shark blue seatbelts, which was one of the few cosmetic options the owner spec'd. The car had an MSRP of $89K, and there's about $2,000 in options, almost purely cosmetic. Things like the blacked out trim on the exterior, these awesome shark blue seat belts, which was actually new for the 2022 model year. All right, we're gonna have PASM off, Porsche Sport Exhaust enabled. So one of the nice things about the GTS is you get all the goodies bundled in, along with that beautiful 4-liter naturally aspirated flat six engine. I have driven the PDK example of this car at the Porsche Experience Center in Los Angeles, but the owner chose right, going with that 6-speed manual. Oh yes. Fuck yes, boys. Fuck yes. All right, so first impressions. You know I gotta talk about steering because that's how I do. Porsche EPS is one of the best EPS racks you're gonna find. Is it as good as that Lotus Emira that I'm considering? No, but that Lotus Emira rack is hydraulic, which gives you better feedback. But when it comes to electric racks, this is really very well dialed in. Oh, yes. Beautiful suspension. It absorbs the impact, it absorbs the compression, and you don't get any bouncing. Really well done, Porsche, as expected. Beautiful pedal placement for heel toe. That throttle response is immediate, but that engine, guys, the engine is just, it's definitely a significant strength over the Lotus Emira. 4-liter flat six, pushing out 394 horsepower, 309 pound-feet of torque, and it sounds so good. The owner did add a BMC engine filter, which is the same ones that's used in the GT4. It helps with the induction note. Now, one thing I will say about the Caymans is that the gearing. The reason I say that is it doesn't let you take full advantage of this beautiful transmission in those tasty downshifts, unless you're short shifting like I am right now. But when it comes to the transmission, it's great. It's very good. But you know what, guys? It's not as good as that Lotus Emira. The clutch engagement is better feel. But with regards to transmission, the actual gear shift, it's not as tight and notchy as that Lotus. That Lotus is, if we say that Honda S2000 or NSX is the pinnacle, I would put that Lotus Emira not far away from that, actually. I know, I'm surprised that I'm saying that because the Lotus transmissions of past have definitely been a, let's just say, a weakness. But this is a step removed from that as well. God, heel towing in this is such a breeze. No adjustment required. You get in the driver's seat, you give it some brake, you give it some blips, and it's silky smooth. The other thing about the Cayman GTS is that, well, all Caymans actually, is that they come with McPherson strut front suspension. That Lotus Emira, it's double wishbone all around. Now, the advantage of having that double wishbone all around is that it allows for more negative camber as the suspension loads. So in theory, it should have better handling characteristics, especially when you're pushing the front end. But it also comes down to tuning. And even though this is McPherson strut, from my experience, it is not more prone to understeer than the Lotus Emira. Porsche tunes their McPherson struts very, very well. God, I love the balance of these cars. They're just so... And if you want to call the GT4 the scalpel, the surgical instrument, this is the slightly milder, slightly tamer, slightly more daily drivable version of that. If you weren't going to track your car regularly and you wanted a beautiful sports car to carve up the canyons, go on road trips with, daily drive, this is the one you want. Phenomenal, fantastic. These delicious blips. We reviewed the Cayman GTS, the 2.5 turbo, which is a very impressive car, but I would pony up that extra cash and get this. The 4-liter flat six is just a totally different beast. The noise, the drama. I mean, it's a beautiful engine, very linear, immediate throttle response. The power band just keeps pulling and pulling all the way to the 8,000 RPM red line. Such a gorgeous car. And as car enthusiasts, we are so lucky to have these cars as options, guys. I mean, GTS 4.0 versus Lotus Emira. They're both so amazing, so special, so well sorted and enjoyable to drive. We are truly, we're so lucky. This is like the peak of ICE, right? Prior to us all going full EV and accepting our EV overlords. Wow, wow, wow. Very, very special car. I'm curious, what would you guys think? Between the two, right? The Cayman GTS 4.0 and the Lotus Emira, what would you choose? The Emira, in my mind, has better steering. It has a better transmission, although the clutch is not as good. Pedal placement and ergonomics in the Porsche are better. The pedal placement in the Emira is a little bit awkward. The clutch is like, you have to move your left foot all the way over, which I don't like. The engine on this is definitely more special. Chassis tuning on both is very good, actually. Phenomenal on both. The engine here is way more special than in the Lotus. They're both so good. It depends on what you prioritize. And I'm curious, what do you guys think? What do you prioritize? Would you go Lotus Emira or Porsche Cayman GTS 4.0? Much love, my friends. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in that next one.